Hi everyone, welcome back to Book Bakht Reviews. I'm Bakhtawar, and today I thought I'd do a really quick and short review on Red Birds by Mohammad Hanif. Mohammad Hanif is a really popular Pakistani writer. I think he used to be a journalist who worked for the BBC, and he is best known for, A Case of Exploding Mangoes. This is a really tattered, locally printed copy, so don't mind the condition. But he's best known for A Case of Exploding Mangoes, which is a sort of satirical comedy on the tenure of Zia Haq, I think. This is, it's intensely entertaining. I really liked it. It's very hilarious. The story of Red Bird starts off with, an American pilot who sort of has to crash land in a desert village. The location of the village is never mentioned, and he crash lands there, and he's sort of starving and kind of stranded, and then he comes across a teenager who's also the main character of the story, who's called Momo, and he's this kind of entrepreneurial kind of self-proclaimed businessman who has been affected by the war in the area, because this guy, the pilot, is also like obviously he was sent to bomb the village that this teenager comes from, and Momo is really affected by the conflict and everything. But he keeps thinking of how he can make money off of it. He's very much the mentality of if you're good at something, don't do it for free. He doesn't seem to be good at a lot though. He wanders around in a stolen jeep. He has a dog called Mutt. I think it's probably ironic. And Mutt is basically a dog who has philosophical thoughts brought on by an electrocution that he suffered from because he urinated on an electric supply pole. So he has a lot of philosophical thoughts, and the dog is also the story basically it's polyphonic, so it has it's sort of divided up in parts which are all narrated by different people, but I think there's more narrations by Momo and Mutt than anyone else probably. And it's filled with funny snippets, if you don't bomb somewhere, if you don't bomb someone, how can you save them, or something like that. I mean, Hanif is known for a kind of dark, satirical humor, dark humor. He can make anything funny even if it's not funny. Obviously in real life, that's a real talent that he has. He seems to be, he likes talking against institutions of, sort of obviously fictionalizing a kind of, institutions of power and bureaucratic structures and the kind of effect they have, and he has a very mocking tone, which is sort of the same across all his novels, I've noticed. And I think intrinsically also, writers and particularly fiction writers, they seem to be against the norm and the things that most people probably look up to. So the story has a very farcical quality about it. The village itself, it's described in a really funny way. It's kind of described as a collection of goat herders who eat rotten vegetables or something like that. There's a building near the village called the Hangar, which is apparently portrayed as a sort of center for ghosts or people who died while they were spying or something like that. There's a metaphor, obviously, which gives the name to the book, Red Birds. And the metaphor basically, what I thought was that I think it's about basically hope flying away. It's about all the hopes that were crushed probably by people that died. But I think more clearly Hanif kind of says that it's every time someone dies, a red bird, who's probably the equivalent of that person, I suppose, in a metaphorical sense, sort of flies away but then can reappear at critical moments. And animals can see it, and the character Mutt, the dog, the talking dog, so to speak, is also able to see these red birds and comment on them from time to time. So Mohammad Hanif's writing is very simple. It's in a way pedestrian also, which is part of why it's so enjoyable. I am a huge fan of his, but I will say this, that if you're not familiar with his style, I would recommend that you read his other books first. Red Birds is probably, and I say this with a heavy heart, probably the least impressive. If you're looking to introduce yourself to him, do read either A Case of Exploding Mangoes or Our Lady of Alice Bhatti. You will be more entertained. Or if you're just going to read one, I liked Our Lady of Alice Bhatti best. I even cried in this one, even though it's supposed to be funny, but this one was quite remarkable, I think. So yeah, thank you for taking the time to watch. I hope you enjoyed this quick video, and I'll see you next time.